Hey guys, welcome to Chat with the Author live Q&A. My name is Michelle Fondin. If you're viewing this new or you're viewing this on replay, I want to welcome you here. Today, the day of this live stream is Tuesday, February 17th of 2026. It is the Lunar New Year, year of the fire horse. Fire horse. So yes, the Chinese zodiac has 12 different animals that rotate each year, but then they have the elements that rotate as well with those animals. So the fire horse happens every 60 years. And the fire horse is associated with bold action, energetic shifts, courage, and transformative momentum, which is interesting because today is also the new moon in Aquarius. It is the solar eclipse in Aquarius as well, which new moon's about new beginnings, fresh starts. The Lunar New Year is about new beginnings and fresh starts. It's about starting something new. But Aquarius is also about innovation. Science, innovation, technology, something new and something exciting happening as well. So happy Lunar New Year, happy new moon in Aquarius and solar eclipse, because this is a supercharged and super powerful day and upcoming. This is eclipse season in astrology. So there we go. This is super powerful for new beginnings and fresh starts, and it's setting intentions especially. So just in a minute, we're going to set some intentions for the Lunar New Year, as well as for this Aquarius new moon and solar eclipse. But first, I want to welcome you here. If you are brand new to this live stream, welcome, and please put something in the chat box. Say where you're viewing this from. Let me know if you are indeed new to the live stream, and if you are returning, say something as well. I'm interested in your questions about anything that I write about in my published books or anything that I address on YouTube in my videos. So all the questions that you have regarding those things are open and welcome, and I will do my best to answer them, the best that I can to answer them, of course. I'm wearing the appropriate color for the Lunar New Year. I'm wearing a red, which is a lucky color for the Lunar New Year. So I am hoping that this upcoming 12 months, 14 months are going to be very lucky for me indeed. And I am encouraging you to set intentions as well. So if you are watching this now, put something in the chat. Say hello, say where you're from, where you're viewing this from. If you have a question, that would be fantastic. So as I mentioned, the Lunar New Year is about fresh starts, new beginnings. The fire horse is about innovation, power. Horses are powerful. Fire is powerful, right? Even Ayurveda, which I teach in my first book, The Wheel of Healing with Ayurveda. I was an Ayurvedic practitioner. I'm losing my words here. I don't know why. I was an Ayurvedic practitioner for many years, and the element of fire is all about passion and drive, right? So supercharged. And then the sun is fire. Solar eclipse, sun is fire. So there's a lot of passionate, supercharged energy. So if you're viewing this on replay or you are viewing this live, we're going to set a little intention for this Lunar New Year and for this new moon in Aquarius. And so if you're watching this right now, go ahead and place your hands on your heart and just close your eyes for a minute and just center into your heart-centered energy, taking a deep breath in, releasing anything that can be released that is stress within your body. For most of you in the US, of course, it is evening time. So releasing any stress that you are holding on to in the body, in your heart. Make a decision now To decide means to cut off all other options. So make a decision now. What is your intention to create something passionate, new, and innovative for the eclipse season, for the Lunar New Year? We are still kind of sort of in the newer calendar part of the year. So what is it that you are passionate about, driven about, like the fire horse? What is that passion and drive that you have moving forward? What is it that you would like to see come to fruition in the coming 12 months of your life? What is it that you would like to visually see in the 3D world come to fruition? Set that intention right now. Now, it could be something emotional, or it could be something physical. It could be something spiritual. It could be a relationship, right? It could be something in your body. Maybe you would like a transformative change in your body. Whatever it is, set that intention. Choose it, because when you choose, when you decide, like I said, you cut off all other options. So make that decision right now. And then what is one small action that you could take within the next 24 hours to make that decision solid, to solidify it? Now, it could be something as small as writing it down, right? Writing down your intention. And if there are some action steps that you can take to show the universe that you are serious about this intention, then do that as well. So that is our Lunar New Year intention for the coming months and for eclipse season, because eclipses are super powered. They have so much effect that lead us through all of eclipse season and really affect the next 6 to 12 months in our lives. So this is super powerful. And I would say, try not to ignore this period of your life, because setting intentions and being very intentional about the things that you focus on, because the power is in the focus, right? Power is in focus. There's so much incredible power in it. So yes. So I have someone, hello, Elena, and I have a piano and a heart. All right, welcome. So yeah, setting that small intention and being able to have it magnified through your focus is amazing. So I want to welcome you here if you're just joining me for this live stream. If you have questions, please place them in the chat box. And if you don't have questions, you can say something in the chat box. Say hello, say where you're viewing this from. I will address topics on any of the things that I speak about on YouTube, as well as in my published books. So we are moving straight ahead, and I have some questions here that are common questions that are asked by viewers like you. Do you remember that? If you were raised in the 80s and the 70s and 80s, you used to say, and thank you. Or like, viewers like you. Okay. So this is a question about protecting your energy. How do you protect your energy without isolating yourself? And I love this question. Hello to Anika. Is it Anika? I hope it's Anika. Hello, Anika. How do you protect your energy without isolating yourself? This is a great question. A lot of times when we are sensitive souls, when we are spiritually awakening, we can feel very vulnerable. We feel extremely vulnerable because we are sensitive. We are empaths, perhaps. We are light workers. We're sensitive beings. We're sensitive souls, and we tend to be tuned into the energies around us. That's good and that's bad sometimes, right? Because if you're really super hypersensitive and tuned into the energy around you, if you are empathic, then you're picking up on energy that is not necessarily yours. And this can be problematic because then you're carrying around other people's junk. And that really comes from a space of not understanding how to even set up proper energetic boundaries around you. So you don't have to stay in your room or stay in your apartment or your house all by yourself. You can certainly ask your angels and guides to help shield and protect you and protect your energy. So Archangel Raphael can put a green light of protection around you. Archangel Michael can put a blue light of protection around you. Archangel Uriel can put a golden white light of protection around you. And just asking these archangels and angels to help shield and protect your energy field will really help you to not drain your energy if you're around other people and you're really sensitive to other people's energy. Because the idea is not to isolate yourself if you're spiritually awakening. You want to be more in this world, not less in this world. You might have a momentary time where you want to self-isolate to learn more and to grow more, but that doesn't last. That's not realistic for most of us. Elena says, stop the world. I want to get off. Oh, that's so funny. I love it. Well, here's the thing is that your soul wanted to come here. You chose to come here. So for better, for worse, we all need to figure out how to navigate being in this world while not being of this world, right? We all need to learn to navigate that. And that obviously comes with practice. And it comes with self-respect and self-love and learning how to set proper boundaries as well, right? It's when we learn those proper boundary setting and also learning how to protect our energy, but not bleed it out, right? Not seep it out and not necessarily attracting in people who are what some people refer to as like energy vampires, right? Those that want to steal your energy because they have a weak sense of self. And frankly, they want to suck your positive energy away from you and onto them. And I certainly had my fair share of those types of people in my life in the past. Yeah, of course. All right. So if you're new, I want to welcome you here. Please do put something in the chat. And if you have questions, by all means, ask me questions about anything that I write about. And happy Lunar New Year as well. Okay. So if you don't have any questions in the chat, I'm going to go on to a next question that I have up here on my list of questions. Let's see. I like this one. Okay. If my twin flame is avoidant or emotionally unavailable, should I wait? I love that question. That's an excellent question. If my twin flame is avoidant or emotionally unavailable, should I wait? I have debated on this for so many years. If you look back to some of my videos in 2019 and probably early 2020 on the topic of twin flames, I probably would have said, yes, wait. But now, what I believe is that, and I'm going to produce a video on this very soon, within the next week, there's going to be a video on free will choice as it pertains to twin flames and other. But I really believe that everybody has free will as to whether or not they will change, how they will change, the timeline in which they will change, if they even become aware as to their own energy, their own behavioral patterns. Actually, I'm going to give you a two-part answer to this one. So that's the first part, is that everybody has free will choice. So you can't force someone to change or even recognize their own behavior in order to change. So you might be waiting a really long time if you're waiting for someone else to change. So that's my first answer. Free will has everything to do with it. My second answer, and the one that took me a lot longer to figure out, is that, hey, thanks so much for the super chat. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So one other thing that it took me so long to figure out was that my twin flame and me are mirror reflections of each other, right? I'm sure you've heard that so many times. My twin flame and I are mirror reflections of each other. Therefore, if you have a twin flame or soulmate who is avoidant, emotionally distant, then chances are there's something inside of you that is also emotionally avoidant. And it may be subtle and it may take you a while to figure out, but that's usually the case. So it took me a while to learn that. And really, it was more through my inner child healing work that I realized that I had some walls that were still up. And I really didn't think that was the case because I'm a pretty open person in general. But as far as being guarded on certain topics, that I had kept some walls up. So that is, that's the answer to that question. And I would say, it's never a good idea just to wait for waiting's sake, right? Because you really want to love yourself fully and unconditionally. And that means doing the best you can for your life to be able to move forward in the way that feels most authentically real to you. And if it is in the plan, in the divine plan, if it's in your destiny to be together with your person, then rest assured you'll be together with them, right? But I would say waiting in the background and not moving forward with your own life would probably be the wrong thing to do. So countdown, Revolution 9, thank you for this super chat. And if you have a question, please do put it in the chat box. Learning with Sarah 19 says, please answer me. Are you with your twin flame together now? I did answer this actually in a different live stream, but I will answer it again. My twin flame and I are not in physical reunion. We had been back and forth for many years, and he has decided, I guess, it's really hard to know what's inside somebody's head, right? You can't fully know at 100% what's inside somebody's brain. But he really did not want to face some of his fears, right? Some of his avoidant fears, talking about emotionally avoidant. That was not my question. It was a question that came up. But he really didn't want to face any of his avoidant fears. And that becomes problematic to be in a relationship with somebody. Now, that doesn't mean that there's no hope for the future. It just means not right now. So I hope I answered that question. And I want to welcome you here. Thank you so much for joining. And I will answer Countdown Revolutions question. Tips to clear the throat chakra. Bought your book, but currently lost my Amazon. Oh no, my Amazon Kindle account. Oh no, that's terrible. Yes, I have wonderful ideas to clear the throat chakra. So some of you know that I had thyroid cancer when I was 28. I was 28 years old. I'm actually rewriting a little bit of this story in my self-love book. So if you don't know, I have a new book that's coming out May 20th entitled Love Me Unconditionally, A Spiritual Guide to Self-Love. I was 28. I had 2 small children. I had a huge tumor on the side of my neck and didn't even know it. I was that disconnected from even physically looking at myself. And it was a very scary time for me. I didn't know what a thyroid was. I had no idea that it was a vital organ. Hearing the words like you have a tumor and you might have cancer when you're 28 is super scary, because when you're 28, you're usually not thinking about death. That's usually not as furthest from your mind at that point, right? And I had some sort of intuition inside of me at 28 that said, going through traditional medicine, which I ended up doing, but going through traditional medical practice is probably not the answer, because you're not getting to the root cause of the problem. And the chakra system was one of the things that I found to help me get to the root cause of the problem with the thyroid and the tumor. So I was reading this book called Women's Body, Women's Wisdom by Christiane Northrup, who is a physician, medical doctor, but she's also very connected to mind, body, spirit medicine. And in her book, she mentioned the chakra system, not the throat chakra necessarily, but other chakras that she was dealing with for her specific health issues. And that was really the first time that I was introduced to the chakra system. And what I discovered was that obviously throat, thyroid, right? Your thyroid's right here. For those of you that don't know, your thyroid is right here. It's shaped like a butterfly. It kind of wraps around the front of your neck. And when I was growing up, I always had sore throats. I had strep throat. I had tonsillitis. When I was 17, I had an abscess in my throat that had to be surgically opened so I could breathe. There was obviously a lot going on with my throat between age 0 and 28. And the throat represents your ability to speak your authentic truth clearly. Your authentic truth. So what is residing in your heart? What's your heart telling you? Your heart that is speaking to you, and being able to vocalize it forward and outward into the world. Most of us who are people pleasers, who've been taught to be nice boys and girls, who have been taught to like play nice and not make waves, have a really difficult time speaking out our truth and being the most authentic we can to ourselves and displaying it out into the world, right? So I think the first bit of advice that I can give you about healing your throat chakra is learning how to speak your truth. That alone sometimes is the hardest thing for you to do, to be able to really not care if you're going to hurt someone's feelings, to really not care if you're being politically correct or socially correct or family correct, right? Because it could go in so many directions, right? You could go to mom or dad and your brothers and sisters, and you're speaking your own truth might not be accepted, right? So that was the first thing that I had to learn. The second thing I had to learn was to be able to be truthful to myself, really. So I had to like check in with myself and be truthful to myself. And then the other things you can do are like vocal exercises, right? So hum, H-U-M, is the sound of the throat chakra. So even humming or saying the sound hum throughout the day is one way in which you can heal, open, and align, because everything is energy and vibration, right? So through vibrational sounding, right, you can heal any part of your body. And then you can sing, right? Singing, humming, speaking, doing things that help you to vocalize in a better way. So those are all things you can do to help open up your throat chakra, but mostly it's about being able to speak your authentic truth, the authentic truth that resides within your heart. So I hope that was helpful in speaking about the throat chakra and helping you understand where that is, where that's emanating from, where that is coming from. For me, it's obviously been a work in progress, and it's something that I keep practicing. I keep practicing it day after day because I know it is essential. And I know that was my weakness, right? That was my weak point in my body. So thank you so much for your question. I really appreciate it. So again, if you're just joining me now, welcome. Happy Lunar New Year and Year of the Fire Horse, and happy also new moon in Aquarius, the solar eclipse. So if you have any questions, please, by all means, ask your questions. Oh, you're very welcome. I appreciate it. We are going to keep moving forward here for this live stream. And again, if you have a question, please do type it in the chat box. All right, so this question is about spiritual awakenings. This one is spiritual awakening the same as personal growth? The two can be combined, but you can have personal growth without having a personal awakening. Sorry, let me say that again. You can have personal growth without having a spiritual awakening, obviously. Personal growth comes sometimes more from a psychological standpoint, right? Or a mindfulness standpoint. So personal growth comes through our life experience. Oftentimes, when we make mistakes, when we make errors, when things happen in our lives, hopefully, if we get the lessons, we experience personal growth. But when you have a spiritual awakening, I believe it causes even more spiritual growth. And maybe it causes the spiritual growth that you never even asked for. And that's often something I hear day in and day out when I have one-on-one coaching sessions with clients. So what I hear is, I have this spiritual awakening and there's so much happening that I never asked for. I did not ask for this. Well, on some level, you did ask for it. Your soul asked for it, but I can understand that from a conscious level, a lot of times we don't ask for the lessons that come with a spiritual awakening, but they do push us into deeper spiritual growth as well. So oftentimes the spiritual awakening can come, as in my example from earlier, it can come through an illness that, of course, we didn't consciously ask for. Or it can come through a breakup, or come through an addiction when you hit rock bottom, or it can come through betrayal of a relationship, like somebody betrayed you in a relationship. It can come through losing your job or career, for example. So oftentimes in a spiritual awakening, you will be pushed towards spiritual growth and personal growth that you didn't necessarily think was coming, but then it comes to you in quite big ways sometimes. So that is the difference between personal growth and a spiritual awakening and how they intersect at times. So I want to welcome you here if you're just joining me. And if you have your questions, please do ask. We will just stay on for just a few more minutes. And of course, normally I will be here every 2 weeks on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. That said, in 2 weeks from today, I will be in Walt Disney World, since I will be running the Disney Princess Half Marathon on March 1st. And so this live stream will skip 2 weeks, and I will see you guys in 3 weeks once we sign off here. All right. So let's go to one more question, unless you guys have questions that you pop into that chat box. I like this one. So I think this is a good one to finish off the live stream if we stop here. This is about personal power. How do you stop taking things personally when people are rude or dismissive? That is so interesting, because something in fact did happen to me twice this week, and it's one of those things that leaves you like scratching your head. You're like, huh, what? Why did that happen, right? So there were two things in particular that happened this week. One was with someone that I absolutely don't know, will never see again in my life. You know, it was one of those bump-ins with a stranger. And the second one was with someone that I did know, and I was like, what? Right? So what I have learned is that When someone is rude or they trigger you, well, if they trigger you, sometimes it's like an inner child wound that's being triggered, or it's something from your past that is unhealed that is obviously being triggered. But normally, most of the time, it's not about you at all. So if they're rude or if they are dismissive of you, it has nothing to do with you. So it's so much easier to not take it personally when you know for certain that it is not about you. It's about them. You don't know what's going on in their life necessarily. But so if someone has that type of behavior, it's not about you, it's about how they're choosing to act or react. So I'll give you one of my examples just to demonstrate this, because it did kind of like baffle me, because I'm one of those people that had people pleasing so deeply ingrained in my brain for decades that even though I have divorced myself from people pleasing, when people are not nice to me, or I feel like, why weren't they nice to me? Of course, sometimes I do question, right? So what happened was I was jogging. So I'm training for this half marathon. I was jogging on the beach. And since I was running 10 miles, halfway through, I have a energy gel, which is a running energy gel that I take, and it has a plastic package. So I was running on the right side of the road, so to speak. It's like a big sidewalk, boardwalk. And the trash cans were all on the left side. So what I did was I ran to the left side to get to the trash can to throw out the little package. And this man who was pushing a stroller with 2 dogs saw me coming, obviously. I'm on that side of the sidewalk, and literally did not move an inch. Not an iota, not an inch. And I'm like making a beeline for the trash can. And so it was almost like we both reached like a dead stop, because I'm trying to get to the can and he would not move. He was just clearly trying to show me that he was boss. And so I just said, oh, well, could you move? Like, you couldn't move like 2 inches. So I'm like holding up the trash. And he just got really irate and said, no, I can't. I have dogs or something. I don't know what he said. I have my headphones in. And then he said, what are you, in Europe? Like, we go to the right side of the road or something. And I'm just like, oh my God. But, that obviously was not about me, right? That was not about me. So I couldn't take it personally, because it so was not about me or anything. The guy didn't know me, obviously. It was obviously he was angry about something and decided to take it out on a person who was walking on the trail, obviously on his side and not where he wanted them to walk. So yeah, just know that when someone is rude or dismissive, that it's absolutely not about you. And it makes it much easier to swallow. Like, even if it's somebody you love, even if it's someone that you're in a relationship with, if they're reacting poorly, it's not about you. But if, like, for example, you're in a relationship with somebody and you did something that made them upset or angry, it's their job to tell you. You're not a mind reader. So even in that case, it's not you, it's them. Because if they have an issue, they need to address it with you if you are in an actual relationship with them, right? So I hope that was helpful. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me here today for this Chat with the Author live Q&A. I have fun interacting with you guys. I will see you guys not in 2 weeks, but in 3 weeks, since I'm on vacation in 2 weeks. And I can't wait to interact with you more for another Chat with the Author live Q&A. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for giving the video a thumbs up, liking it, subscribing, watching the other videos. And I will see you guys real soon. Bye-bye.